Let me ask you something strange. What language is your voice using right now? Inside your head, when you think, when you plan, when you remember something, what language do you use? For most people listening, it's their native language. And that is exactly the problem. Today we're talking about something many English students struggle with: how to think in English. I am here with a teacher who has many years of experience helping students speak fluently. Teacher, thank you for being here. I have a problem. I can understand English, I can read English, but I don't think in English. I always translate. How can I stop doing that? Thank you for inviting me. First, let me say something important. You are not alone. Almost every student starts this way. Translating in your head is normal at the beginning. It is not a mistake, it is a stage. The problem is when students stay in that stage too long. Thinking in English is not magic, it is training. And like any training, it requires repetition and patience. Why is translating a problem? Isn't it helpful? At the beginning, yes. Translation helps you understand meaning. But when you want to speak fast and naturally, translation becomes slow. Your brain works in two steps. First, your language, then English. That delay creates hesitation and stress. To think in English, you must build direct connections between ideas and English words without passing through your native language. That sounds difficult. How can I create those direct connections? You start small, very small. Most students try to think about big ideas in English immediately. That creates frustration. Instead, start with simple daily thoughts. For example, when you wake up, say in your head, I'm tired. It's cold today. I need coffee. These are small sentences, but they train your brain to connect reality with English directly. So, should I talk to myself in English? Exactly. Talking to yourself is one of the most powerful techniques. You describe what you're doing. I'm walking, I'm cooking, I'm working. It may feel strange at first, but your brain learns through repetition. Over time, these sentences become automatic. The goal is not complexity, the goal is habit. Sometimes I don't know the word I need, then I panic. That's another common mistake. When you don't know a word, don't stop. Use simple words to explain it. For example, if you don't know the word umbrella, say the thing for rain. Communication is more important than perfection. Thinking in English means thinking simply at first. Complexity comes later. I noticed that when I listen to English a lot, it becomes easier. Is listening important for thinking? Listening is essential. Your brain cannot think in a language it rarely hears. Listening trains rhythm. structure, and natural expressions. When you listen daily, English patterns enter your mind. Later, your brain uses those patterns automatically when you think. Without input, there's no internal voice in English. So, if I don't think in English, it doesn't mean I'm bad at English. Not at all. It means you need more exposure and active practice. Many students study grammar for years, but never train their internal voice. Thinking in English is not about intelligence, it is about building a new mental habit. This already makes me feel better, but I still feel something blocks me. That block is fear, fear of mistakes, fear of sounding wrong, even in your own head. In the next part, I will explain the real secret to training your brain faster, common mistakes that slow students down, and a simple daily system you can follow to finally start thinking in English naturally. Okay, we talked about the small daily thoughts, talking to yourself, and listening more. But you said there's a real secret to training the brain faster. I'm ready. What is the key? All right, here is the key: immersion inside your daily life, not inside a classroom. Many students believe they need more grammar books. They don't. They need more English around them every day. Your brain thinks in the language it uses the most. If you use your native language 95% of the day, your brain will stay there. To think in English, you must create the small English moments during your normal routine. What do you mean by English moments? Simple things. Change your phone language to English. Follow English content about topics you love. When you write your to do list, write it in English. When you plan your day, do it in English. These small changes tell your brain English is part of my life now. The brain adapts to necessity. If English becomes necessary daily, thinking in English becomes natural. Sometimes I try to think in English, but after a few minutes, I return to my native language without noticing. That's normal. The brain chooses the easiest path. Your native language is automatic because you've used it for years. English is still new, so don't expect your brain to change in 1 week. The mistake students make is expecting fast results. Thinking in English is like building a muscle. If you train a little every day, it grows. If you stop, it stays weak. Is there a specific daily routine you recommend? Yes, I recommend a simple 3 step routine. First, input. Listen to English for at least 15 to 20 minutes every day. Podcasts, videos, interviews. Second, output. Speak out loud for 5 to 10 minutes. Talk about your day, your plans, or what you listen to. Third, reflection. Think about your day in English before sleeping. Even simple sentences like, today was busy, or tomorrow I will study. This routine trains listening, speaking, and internal thinking together. What are the biggest mistakes students make when trying to think in English? There are three main mistakes. First, trying to be perfect. Perfection blocks fluency. Second, translating complex thoughts. Start simple. Third, giving up too soon. Many students try for 3 days and say, it doesn't work. But the brain needs repetition. You trained your native language for years. Give English time. How long does it take to start thinking naturally in English? It depends on consistency, not talent. If you practice daily, you can feel changes in a very few weeks. At first, you will notice the small moments when English appears automatically. That's progress. Celebrate those moments. Over time, those small moments become longer periods. Is it possible to completely stop translating? Yes, but only when English becomes familiar. Advanced students don't translate because English patterns feel normal. The goal is not to fight translation aggressively. The goal is to make English comfortable enough that translation is unnecessary. This gives me hope. Before we finish, what is one final message for students who feel stuck? Stop asking, why can't I think in English? And start asking, how can I use English today? Thinking is a result of use. The more you live in English, even in the small ways, the more your brain adapts. Be patient, be consistent, and speak even when it feels uncomfortable. Your brain is flexible. Train it daily, and it will change. Thank you so much. I feel like now I have a clear path. You do. And remember, thinking in English is not a talent, it's a habit. Build a habit, and the result will come.